By Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense.
We started our Friday off with a couple of sprinkles across portions of mid-Michigan. Notice on satellite and radar, still a couple of isolated rain showers going right along and south of I-94. Temperatures currently sitting in the upper 70s, 78 degrees in Lansing, 77 our current temperature in Charlotte, but it's still incredibly humid outside. We'll hold on to that humidity as we go throughout the rest of the day, with temperatures topping out in the mid-80s. A few additional storms will be possible across the area this evening. We'll talk about when we'll see some relief from that humidity coming up in just a little bit. 6 News at Noon starts right now.
Breaking news live from 6 News.
And good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us for 6 News at Noon. I'm Kirk Montgomery. We do begin with breaking news out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Right now, a massive manhunt is now underway for the person who shot and killed one person and wounded another at the dorm on campus at the University of New Mexico. The shooting happened at the Casas del Rio dormitory complex very early this morning. The person wounded in that shooting is expected to survive. The campus has been shut down. Students have been told to shelter in place. Multiple law enforcement agencies are on scene and actively investigating this shooting and searching for a suspect who they say may still be on campus. The university has about 23,000 students during the school year. We will continue to follow this story and update you both on air and online. Now to the race for U.S. Senate. Congressman Bill Huizenga says he will not run for the seat. The Republican made the announcement on social media, saying he made the decision after talking with his family and President Trump. Right now, he represents Michigan's 4th congressional district, which includes portions of several West Michigan counties, as well as all of Allegan and Van Buren counties. His term ends in December of next year, and he hasn't said yet whether he will seek re-election. And former Congressman Mike Rogers has received a major endorsement. President Donald Trump now throwing his support behind Rogers' bid for U.S. Senate. The president made the endorsement over social media, saying that Rogers has, quoting now, served our nation with distinction and will bring the same fighting spirit to the U.S. Senate. Rogers has served in Michigan's U.S. Representatives from 2001 to 2015. He later ran for the U.S. Senate last year and narrowly lost to Democratic nominee Elissa Slotkin. The 2026 Senate race in Michigan is expected to be one of the more closely watched races. President Trump headed to Scotland this morning with more questions about the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files hanging over the administration as convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell meets with the DOJ's second highest ranking official again today. Natalie Brand has our report now from the White House.
As President Trump left the White House for Scotland this morning, he did not want to talk about the Jeffrey Epstein files.
People should really focus on how well the country's doing.
As his DOJ interviews Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell for a second day.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if cooperating?
It's something I haven't thought about.
The meetings with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche are taking place in Tallahassee, Florida, where Maxwell is serving time for her conviction of luring and grooming teenage girls for sexual abuse. Attorney David Marcus says he's hoping for another productive day.
You know, we're grateful for this opportunity to finally be able to say what really happened, and that's what we're going to do yesterday and today.
The new interview with Maxwell comes as the administration is facing continued pressure, including by even some members of the president's own party, to release more information related to the case.
We want full transparency. We want everybody who was involved in any way with the Epstein evils, let's call it what it was, to be brought to justice.
President Trump this week has tried to change the subject, even making a rare trip Thursday to the Federal Reserve's headquarters as the administration has raised questions about the cost of its ongoing renovations.
So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Despite squabbling over numbers, President Trump said he had a good meeting with Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
I think he's going to start recommending lower rates.
The president also reiterated Thursday that he does not plan to fire Powell. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
And we have an orange barrel alert for drivers in Jackson County. Parts of US 127 and I-94 will be closed starting tomorrow as MDOT will begin high friction surface treatments. Now, this project will begin at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning on the northbound US 127 ramp to westbound I-94 US 127. This will require the northbound US 127 ramp to be closed until Sunday night. Officials say the work will provide drivers with a smoother, safer driving surface, and the closure is necessary to keep the area safe for workers. In the meantime, people should expect delays and really seek alternate routes over the weekend. Motorcyclists with the American Legion are set to embark on a long ride to raise awareness for people with post-traumatic stress disorder. The two-day ride started this morning. It's spanning from Hell, Michigan in Livingston County all the way to Paradise, Michigan up in the UP. It is part of the second annual Hell to Paradise Veterans PTSD Awareness Ride. It kicked off at 9 o'clock this morning at Smitty's Saloon in Pinckney. The riders will make their first stop in Ovid today, and that's where they will pay their respects to London Gadd, a 12-year-old from Ovid who passed away after struggling with mental health challenges. The ride will continue through Saturday, ending with a ceremony in Paradise and a parade held later in downtown Sault Ste. Marie.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We have a lot of cloud cover across mid-Michigan this Friday afternoon, and we're going to hold on to these rather gloomy conditions as we go throughout the rest of the day. Temperatures outside right now generally sitting in the upper 70s. We're at 78 degrees in both Lansing and Grand Ledge, 79 for your current temperature down in Hillsdale and St. John's. We're at 80 degrees over in the city of Owasso. Now, our current temperatures this afternoon are trending right around 5 to 15 degrees cooler compared to where we were at this same time yesterday. But you'll notice as you step outside this afternoon, it really doesn't feel all that different because our dew point temperatures haven't been able to cool down that much. Dew points this afternoon still currently sitting in the upper 60s to low 70s. And notice as we move throughout the weekend and even for the start of next week, our dew points still going to be sitting in that humid to even tropical category. The good news is that we are set to see some relief from the humidity finally as we move into the middle of next week. Dew points will begin to drop as we move into our Tuesday, feeling a lot more comfortable outside come Wednesday afternoon. Some more good news in the forecast is that temperature is actually going to begin to cool down a little bit as we finish off the month of July and eventually move into the month of August. It does look like at that point we are going to be seeing temperatures trending just a little bit below normal across mid-Michigan, which means that very soon we could be talking about highs in the upper 70s across the region. Satellite and radar shows a couple of isolated sprinkles mainly going along and south of I-94. A stationary front to our north is actually going to push south very slowly as we go throughout the rest of the day, and as it does so, we're going to gain just a little bit in terms of instability. That's going to be just enough to turn up the chance for just a couple of isolated showers and thunderstorms later on this afternoon into the evening hours of the day. Those thunderstorms going to be very similar to what we saw yesterday of the pulse variety, which means that briefly they could produce some isolated strong wind gusts, weaken, and then go through that same cycle again as they eventually track out of the area. Another round of showers and thunderstorms possible overnight tonight, and as we move into our Saturday, it's going to be a very similar situation. Finally, though, we will be able to dry things out come Sunday. Sunday actually looking like it's going to be a picture-perfect day. Plenty of sunshine across the region, just in case you do have any outdoor plans by then. If you have any outdoor plans this evening, just making sure that you're keeping an eye on radar because of the chance for those thunderstorms. Temperatures today topping out near 84 degrees. That's just 1 degree above average for this time of year. Overnight tonight, temperatures still going to be incredibly warm, falling down into the low 70s. Notice on our 6-day forecast, we are going to cool things down just slightly on Saturday, highs in the low 80s, but again, it's still going to feel incredibly humid outside. We're right back into the upper 80s on Sunday, low 90s on Monday. A few additional showers and thunderstorms will be possible across the region by then. As I mentioned, Wednesday, finally when we're going to see some relief from the humidity, temperatures by then at 80 degrees.
Wow. And you know what happens in 5 months from today?
I bet you're going to say something with Santa.
Christmas.
There you go.
5 months from today.
I knew it.
So as much as this may be uncomfortable, it's all relative, right?
Yeah, we got snow coming in 5 months at least.
That's right. Thank you. God bless.